How can I know my ovulation? If you're just joining us, you're welcome. Thank you so much. This is a common question being asked on our channel, and I want to plead that please do not hurry up without understanding what has been done here. Unfortunately, this is the problem we face, where we don't want to understand the explanation, but we just want the answer. The answer is really not necessary. When you start telling somebody that my ovulation is on day 14, my ovulation is day 15, the person does not even understand, how did you get 14? How did you get 15? So please take your pen, take your paper, and let us write on. I want to first of all say that if you don't know how to calculate your cycle length, then go to YouTube right now, you search Women's Health Forum, because you find it difficult to understand ovulation if you don't know how to calculate a cycle length. Secondly, the ovulation is not the only thing most ladies who are trying to get pregnant should be looking at. I've actually said that we should avoid asking for ovulation. Rather, we should ask for the fertile window, because when you ask for ovulation is just a day. It's a 24 hours period, which is 1 day, while your fertile window are 7 days, which if you meet with your partner, you will be able to conceive. Let us ride on. Once you know how to calculate your cycle, which I've insisted that if you don't know, go to YouTube, search Women's Health Forum and learn how to do that. What you need to do is you take your cycle length, you minus 14. Let's say you have known how to calculate your cycle, and after calculating, you realize that your cycle is 25. That becomes your cycle length. So what do? You take 25 minus 14. What's the answer? 11. That 11 means if you start counting from the first day you ever menstruated, you count 11 days starting from the first day you menstruated, you are going to get to where we are expecting you to ovulate. It is true that you might not ovulate on that day 11. It's true that you might ovulate on day 12, day 13, or even day 10, day 9. But averagely on that day 11 for a 25-day cycle, you will ovulate. Let's take another example. After calculating your cycle, you realize that you are a 24-day cycle. You take 24 minus 14, so the answer becomes 10. It means that counting from the first day you menstruated, you count 10 days. You don't throw away the days of menstruation. Remember, I said from the first day you menstruated, because unfortunately some ladies threw away the days of menstruation and they start counting after that. If you count 10 days, then you are more likely to get to the day that you will probably ovulate for a 24-day cycle. Let's take another example. 28-day cycle, which is the general cycle where most ladies are, or most ladies have. 28-day cycle, 28 minus 14. It means we expect you to ovulate by the 14th day of your cycle for a 28-day cycle. That is why somebody with a 28-day cycle, you hear ovulation day 14, ovulation day 14. It is not because 28 divided by 2. It is true that 28 divided by 2 gives you 14, but the major reason is because we subtract this 14 and the answer is 14. So if you minus 14 from 28, 28 minus 14 gives us 14. So counting from the first day of menstruation, if you count 14 days, you're going to get to the day that you will likely ovulate for a 28-day cycle, which is day 14. Remember, again, it doesn't mean that the egg must be released on that day 14, because you might have the egg released maybe day 13, that's 1 day before that day, or even day 12, that's 2 days before that day, or even after, that's day 15 or day 16, the egg can still be released for a 28-day cycle. So let's be very careful. Let's take another example. If your menses, you realize the cycle is 30. What do? 30 minus 14. The same thing, cycle minus 14. It gives you 16 for a 30-day cycle. It therefore means counting from the first day you menstruated, you count 16 days, you're going to get to your ovulation for a 30 days cycle. What does it mean? It means if you count from the first day of menstruation right up to day 16, your ovulation will probably be on that day 16 for a 30-day cycle. Remember that ovulation can also occur maybe 2 days before that 16, or even 2 days after that 16 for still this cycle. So looking at this is how you do the calculation. But if you don't know how to calculate your cycle, then meaning you don't even know if you're 28, you're 25, you're 26, you're 30, you will not be able to subtract the 14. You can only subtract the 14 after you have calculated your cycle. And to learn how to calculate your cycle, you can go to YouTube. I've done a lot of videos there. Search Women's Health Forum, learn how to do the calculation. Once you know that, the rest become history. The next thing I want us to take note is that many of our sisters do the errors of thinking that if they menstruate for 3 days, they can ask about their ovulation. You will not know ovulation until you learn how to calculate your cycle length. 3 days menstruation is not cycle length, please. 5 days menstruation is not cycle length, please. A cycle length is from when you ever menstruated to the next menses. The first day you menstruated to the next menses. The first day you menstruated to the next menses. You have to do this for about 5 different cycles and take everything and divide by 5 so that you get an average. It is from the average. Now you now say, oh, this is my cycle. It is not just for one cycle. I've also seen ladies who will come and say, I saw my menses on this day, when is my ovulation? You will not know unless you know how many day cycle you are. And if you know how many day cycle you are, do the explanation I just explained earlier. You will be able to get to ovulation. Because some people will come in the comment section and say, then I menstruated on the 14th. Please, when will I ovulate? Just do exactly what we have said. If you know your cycle length, subtract 14. That's the first thing from your cycle length. If the answer gives you ovulation, then you start counting from the first day you ever menstruated. You will get to the day that you will ovulate. Let me take now a clearer example. Let's say after calculating your cycle, your answer gives you 30, meaning your cycle length is 30. How to get ovulation? 30 minus 14, it gives you 16. Let's assume that you saw your menses on the 2nd of August. And you are now, when will I ovulate? For a 30-day cycle, which we are assuming that you have calculated your cycle already is 30, 2nd of August, you start counting that 2nd of August as your first day of menses. So you count 16 days from there. So it's going to give you the 17th of August as the day that you probably likely ovulate. I hope this is clearer. If, let me say, after counting, you realize your cycle is 28 and your menses started 2nd of August, what do? You count 14 days starting from that 2nd of August. Therefore means it will fall on the 15th of August. If, let me say, after counting, you realize that your cycle is 25, then you get the ovulation, which is day 11. If you get the ovulation, which is day 11, by subtracting 14 from 25, it gives you day 11. Then, assuming that you started menstruating on the 11th of August, so the 11 now will fall on, you take the 11 is your 1, 11th of August is your 1, so you have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You see that the 11 will fall on the 21st of August. That is how calculation is done. I wish every lady the very best. I hope this explains a whole lot about ovulation. Please, if you don't know how to calculate a cycle, go to YouTube, search Women's Health Forum and take your time and learn it, how to do it. I wish you the very best. Don't forget to share my videos. Don't forget to also follow me on YouTube. When you subscribe, at least it helps to push my YouTube videos far. Share my YouTube videos to others as well. For those who are interested in a one-on-one follow-up, you can inbox me and you pay for it. If you're in Cameroon, it will cost you 5,000. If you're out of Cameroon, it will cost you $30 for a one-on-one online follow-up. But those who are in Bamenda, Cameroon, I am at Way in Kwen Kifiro building. Thank you so much. Please always join my live shows in the morning and evening. May God bless you. Do have a beautiful day.